It's back to the black bear grind for today in Hunter Call the Wild, and for good reason. As I've been saying, we are very quickly approaching hunting season here in PA. We're darn near halfway through September already, so barely 2 weeks to go, and the amount of free time to do any black bear grinding is just going to disappear and is going to be spent hunting in real life. So with the opportunity to head out again today, I thought we'd do that in a fairly decent start here. 21 to 23 estimate mythical. Before he goes anywhere, we'll go ahead and hit him with the 300. That may be something we should do a little bit more than. So I went ahead and reset the time to I think 1609 or something like that, and sat there and got my weapons ready to go. And I guess in that amount of time, that bear started to move into his zone. Normally, I would get my weapons ready and then reset the time a little bit later. Maybe that's the way to do it. And at 22.5, 255 kg, that may well be the best start we've had to any run ever in this black bear grind that has now spanned nearly 4,600 kills. We're at 4,575. By the end of this run, we'll be right there close to 4,600. It depends on just how many bears decide to move into the zones early enough that we encounter them, but pretty good start there. Oddly enough though, unfortunately, everywhere else that we've gone since shooting that mythical has produced absolutely no male black bears. So as we continue this run and try to find something to take out next, I guess this is as good a time as any to introduce our first kill from the previous week of grinding, which luckily we still have the free time to do, and that is a cinnamon black bear, level 6, and most importantly here, a score estimate of 16 to 19. Now we know rare black bears, much like a lot of other species rares, will score at their max score estimate range. So anywhere over 19, it could be 19.1 or 19.9, but the whole number is going to be 19 in that score. So a chance of being gold. We do manage to bring him down with the 300, and hopes were pretty well crushed when he ended up being a 19.1, which, to be fair, I kind of expected. We have really struggled to get a cinnamon black bear scoring over that 19.2 mark, and yet again, we fall a little bit short. I do think this is the closest that we've been. I'm actually not sure we had any over 19 prior to this, so bit of a bummer, our biggest cinnamon to this point, but that kind of is just the way this black bear grind has gone. So finally, we find another male black bear. I don't know that I've ever gone that far between males, and you know, there's probably a point at which it's no longer sensible to continue to kind of make the same statement of optimism, but I can't help but think back to the Great One Whitetail and how everything changed prior to actually encountering that, and that is always my hope when something like this happens. Oftentimes just a little bit weird with the respawns, maybe bears are really late getting into the zones. It's hard to know exactly what could cause it, but I guess if nothing else, when runs do get very, very repetitive and very, very similar, something kind of changing, even as simple as this, and like not killing very many bears, it can be enough to, I guess, increase optimism going into the later half of the run. So yet again, not over there. This guy is a 19.3, by the way, so a little bit bigger than the cinnamon that we shot there that was just shy of gold. And I guess we'll just kind of continue around. That is the other thing that happens when you go through and just get no bears. A lot of times we get to this point at maybe 1805, 1810. It's not even 1740 yet in game right now, so we have a lot of places that we can go and double check. This is just a different kind of run. I guess we're gonna see if that optimism is well founded, because we're heading to the Mule Deer Outpost Lake, and we've checked just about everywhere twice with really nothing going on. So let's see what's going on down here. We can see there are plenty of bears. So the question then becomes, are any of them at least decent? And at first glance, lots of kind of average sized bears, a bunch of 4s and 5s. There even are, there's a 3 there, but there even are a fair few down in the reeds. None of these look all that big. I mean, to a degree, it kind of explains why we didn't have that many elsewhere. This is a particularly high number of bears for this spot, but even still, I would like to see, you know, at least like a level 7 or something else, maybe in that kind of range. That said, it could be one of those ones down there is that big, but I guess we'll just kind of get started here on trying to pick out which ones we're going to go ahead and take. These three are fairly open, so let's go for those first. And then we can kind of make decisions from there. That should be all four of those going down. Unless we got any with the standing up glitch, but I didn't notice it happening. That is the level 3. Not sure if that's going to be a vital hit or not, but this one over in here, which is a 4, kind of got out front, so let's take that. That's the 3, which is not hit that well. Always tough. Do we hit a different bear? I heard like the little roar sound they make when they're hit, but he didn't seem to react. I don't know if there was another one in there. This could be tough when it kind of gets to this point, and a lot of bears are kind of getting through to this far right. That's when some tend to escape, and I don't know what we hit, like a tree or a branch up there. That was the 3, I think, that just went through there. And by the way, the 3 is going to go down. Even a flesh hit with a 300 on a bear will eventually bring it down. It just can take a lot of tracking to actually recover it. Most of these shots are going decently well. Just kind of when they get up through there, that can be problematic. Now the good thing is, a lot of times when they do kind of like escape up into there, they'll end up drinking on the road. So we may still get a second chance. That guy over there still run around, a level 6. At least, you know, some with a shot of being a gold, but I'm not seeing that kind of expected level 7 or so that oftentimes will kind of end up appearing out of the reeds or wherever if we don't see anything decent initially when we go and spot stuff. This is just an odd run. That's kind of the best way I can describe it. Not sure what is going on with that, but we'll still take the opportunity to bring down all these bears, especially given the fact that I'm pretty sure we legitimately killed 2 on the rest of the run. And maybe 11, 12 here, depending on what happens when we go up to the road. But I do believe that is everything, at least, that's currently down in here. So let's go and start to collect at least. And it can be relatively difficult to keep count, especially if we have to shoot any that run out of here. But I do want to try to keep track of how many we actually shot, because I feel like if we get to 15 for this entire run, we'll be lucky. So number 2 is a dark level 5. Number 3 here, another dark level 5. Interestingly enough, got 3 more laying here, so that will be number 4, 5, and 6. None of these really that close to gold either. That is a bronze for our level 3 because we had to shoot him twice. Number 6 there is another level 5. I know we shot 3 level 6s or more, but I don't even know, unless more kind of escaped up onto the road than I thought. We're going to be really lucky if we got double digits. Actually, I do think there are 3 laying down in here, so we might be okay. That was a level 4 for our 7th bear this area, and then there's those 2 that we shot kind of side by side. One of these, at least one of these, was a level 6, so maybe a shot of the gold there. That guy was the level 4, and then bear number 9, at least it's a gold at 19.8. Weird run all around when just a gold at the Mule Deer Outpost Lake is an achievement. A lot of times, you know, there's half a dozen bears here that are level 6 or above. Not so much on this run, but let's actually go and see. We're going to be guaranteed at least a 10th and an 11th bear. Maybe no alive ones actually made it up here, or I guess I should say no, like, unscathed ones, because apparently we had hit both of those that we saw go through. And I guess the other side of all of this is that the optimism, because the run was a little bit different and there was no sign of bears mostly everywhere, had nothing to do with a potential great one spawning down in here. By the way, would have been a gold if we shot like a foot lower on that one. And then bear number 11, I think our last bear from this spot, should be that level 3, and it is just a little lower. We'd have been good. Kind of hitting the neck there. There's too much flesh to go through, and we maybe even... Did it hit the end of the skull? I don't think it did. So that's interesting, but I guess in a case like this, thank goodness for live streams. Oh. That might be a gold cinnamon. It's going to score 19. It needs to be 19.2. Please. I want a gold cinnamon on this grind. It has been, outside of the great one, it has been the most elusive thing. Okay. So I'm going to go M1 first, shoot the cinnamon, and then scoot across to these ones, try to reload, and then 30-6 will be for our second round. Probably not a hard shot, but that is all good. Alright, moment of truth. Please don't hate me. Oof. Barely made it. Barely. Get it? Because it's a bear. Good deal. At least we have a gold of all the possible rares now. So I was just getting ready to set everything up here, and I saw the most recent cinnamon, the 19.1, was a 19.19. So thank goodness for the 19.2 on stream, or that would have been pretty tough to see that when we finally got back into the lodge if we didn't already have a 19.2 since all that. But we'll get the bears all placed in here. Interestingly enough, 2 of the 3 different fur types are just barely golds. The blonde, though, is gold by a long shot. And while there are multi-mounts for 2 black bears together, there's nothing for 3, and I kind of like what we actually have going on back here. Would be neat if we could add a great one to this eventually, but of course, if we do get one, that'll go to the main lodge. But our newest gold rare, a 19.2 cinnamon, I'm not sure by how much he made it. I mean, we can actually look pretty quickly. 19.21, so he barely made it as well. So I guess lucked out on this one, not so much on the other one. But then, as I mentioned, the blonde is a 21.1. I think that was a level 7. And then the brown 19.4, which probably is my favorite. I just like the brown fur type black bear. I think they look cool. And another thing, like I said, kind of checked off the list. Running out of things to kind of hope for as we go along with this grind. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.